How's it going, everybody? Another day, more stories of dumb fuckery in the news. All right, everybody, another day, more dumb fuckery in the news. We're going to take a look at this news clip here. It's just a couple minutes. Local here, a little bit northeast of where I live, maybe hour and a half. Two stories here. One involves a gentleman who's 53, has stage 4 cancer. Sucker punched by somebody in the early morning hours, about 1:30 a.m. in Lancaster. And the other one involved an 80-year-old man who was beat up severely in a grocery store. So let's watch this video real quick. Like I said, it's 2 minutes, and I'll come back afterwards and give some thoughts about it.
Was cherishing the time he had left. They never imagined he would be viciously beaten and die in a random attack. CBS 2's Rachel Kim spoke with his family.
God, I ask you to give them strength.
Family, friends, and community members stand in prayer over the spot where 53-year-old Daniel Garcia was attacked on July 8th and later died. As they grieve their loss, they're also trying to find those responsible.
He was fighting stage 4 cancer as it is. My father is my best friend. We did everything together. And right now, I'm trying to be strong for him.
Mr. Garcia's friend named Fabian says the two of them were walking home here along East Avenue K after grabbing some sodas from a nearby store. That's when Fabian says 3 men pulled up in a car right here. They got out of the car, and then one of them punched Garcia in the face, causing him to fall to the ground. Fabian says the 3 suspects yelled expletives, then Black Lives Matter before taking off.
They did not take his wallet. So we're anticipating that this was a hate crime. And because it's so heinous and so senseless and so stupid and ignorant, it just breaks our community's heart that he had to die when he was already dying.
One person who understands the Garcia family's pain and purpose is Cecilia Ramirez. Her father, 81-year-old Roberto Flores Lopez, was robbed and viciously assaulted in the bathroom of a Lancaster grocery store on the same day Garcia was attacked. Investigators say they got a lot of help from the community, and the 2 suspects in her father's beating later turned themselves in. But in Garcia's case, the suspects have not been caught.
It could have been us. We could have been burying my father. And I felt that if the community was good to us and God was good to us, then we need to help them and support them because they need our help.
I'm not going to stop fighting for justice for him because that's my father, you know? He meant the world to me.
Garcia's family says the suspects got away in a silver or white 4-door Honda Civic. Anyone with information is asked to contact the LA County Sheriff's Homicide Bureau. Reporting from Lancaster.
Crazy stuff, right? Here's the text. This is actually just what was said in the video. So if you've seen the video, you've already seen all this. But if you wanted to go ahead and read through that, let's go ahead and pause it or kind of give it a look while I'm talking here. I talked about this with the Jessica Whitaker situation in the video I did a couple days ago. This gentleman was out with a friend at 1:30 a.m. You shouldn't expect in any city that you live in any developed nation, that it isn't safe to just go down the street with your friend, get a soda, regardless of the time of night. I do want to urge caution like I always do, because so many times we've seen in the media where things are said that turn out to not be true. Now again, we have a direct witness here who's saying that the gentleman, after they punched him, yelled expletives and yelled Black Lives Matter. I would urge some caution on that, but I would say, though, that obviously you have to qualify it. You don't assume everybody that's down with the movement is of this mindset. But you see these people on Twitter, and you hear their statements, and it really seems like the ones we hear from, and again, these are just the ones we hear from, are of this mindset of they're ready to go out and beat people who don't agree with their ideology. And that's the same thing that happened in Jessica's case. She said all lives matter. I've heard some rumors that she said some other things prior to that were things she definitely shouldn't have said. But to think that we're in a society right now, we're in a place in society, and granted this has happened over time, with individuals of all races, colors, and ideologies and whatnot, it's the senseless violence is all I would say. That why do we keep having individuals out here that do this to each other? Now, it just so happens that at this particular time, we have a lot of loony whack jobs on the left that are out here going around punching people over their ideology, over their ideological beliefs, whatever it is. It's BLM, anti-American fascist groups trying to call themselves Antifa. What's going on right now? You have idiots like Cortez out there defending people, saying, oh, they're just hungry. They just want some bread. That's why crime's rising in New York. I don't know what to say, other than what I've said before. How much of a badass do you have to be, in this case, to punch a guy with stage 4 cancer? Granted, you don't know that he has stage 4 cancer, but how much of a badass do you have to be? How much of a badass do you have to be like that guy who punched a 12-year-old out on video? I don't know if you've seen that. They caught that guy. He's a grown man. Got out and punched a 12-year-old kid. Again, to beat up an 80-year-old man in a supermarket to where he looks like this, I don't understand how people think that that makes them a man. In my life, and I haven't been in a fight in so long, hopefully it never comes to that again. In the times in my youth, in my stupidity, whenever I fought people, I can honestly say that I never got into a situation where it was so overwhelmingly obvious that I would win the fight. Say like I was 20 and I went out and fought a 10-year-old, right? Or whatever age I was at, I went out and beat up on somebody half my size, or went out and beat up an old person, or went out and beat up a girl that was half my size. Went out and punched an 80-year-old in a supermarket. It just never occurred to me. Maybe that's just circumstance, but I don't understand the logic of people to where they think getting out sucker punching an old man to going out there and beating up an 80-year-old in a supermarket to sucker punch a 12-year-old, that makes them a badass in some way. It doesn't. That's the opposite of a badass. Anybody can go out there and victimize individuals that are not as tough as they are. That's why you see these anti-American fascist losers that go out there in gangs of 20, 30, 40. And it takes groups that large for them to try to take on 4 or 5 or 6 people. Cowards, every single one of them. There's something to be said about what goes on once it gets dark. And I said the same thing about the Jessica Whittaker situation. You should have a reasonable expectation of safety in this country we live in, but unfortunately we don't. Unfortunately, there's assholes out there like this. But yeah, let's defund the police, right? Let's go ahead and have less police. Let's abolish those police. Because once we abolish those police, individuals like these that victimize people, they're just magically going to go and become great citizens like you and I. Sure, that's going to happen. All right, everybody, that's all I got. Cowards, right? Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Be safe out there, especially if you're out on the late night. Watch out for these crazy fuck that are out there. Take care, everybody.